Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Tricky Kids. This is designed by Daniel Reynolds, Stephen Garrow, and it is published by Pandasaurus.
All right, so this is not a kid's game, despite its name. Basically,
Are you sure it's not just like a tricky kids game?
It is a tricky game about kids, but not a tricky game for kids.
Oh boy.
Basically, it's a trick-taking game, as the name suggests. There are 3 suits in this game. However, all the cards have no value.
What?
The cards themselves are dry erase cards, and you're going to be able to write on those cards whatever values you want. You're going to be dealt a 7-card hand, and you get to take a dry erase marker and put whatever values you want on your cards, as long as the total hand is equal to 21 points. So you could go, 6 of them have 0, and 1 of them has 21. You could go 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 for all of them. You could do whatever you want as long as it adds up to 21 value before the hand starts. And then what's going to happen is there are these little, these bidding tokens that have different values on them. And they have 3 different colors based off of 3 different tricks and different values based off of those colors. And if you win the trick with that suit, you get that kind of points. So you're going to play 3 rounds, 7 hands each, and whoever has the most points at the end of that is going to be declared the winner.
If you're familiar with trick-taking, there's also an advanced set of rules. I would just start right off the bat with that if you're familiar with trick-taking, if it's not a new concept. So it's this event deck, and it changes the rules. So it will do things like, you can make one of your cards 2 suits, so you can use it for either one of those tricks. Or you can now, instead of adding to 21, all of the cards have to add to this, or something like that. So it just does a little thing, so every single time you turn the deck over, you turn the card over, and you just kind of tweak the rules just a little bit. So I would just start with that right away.
I like how in this game you can actually intentionally mark things down as low as you want. You get to choose the values, even as low as 0. You cannot go into the negative, but as long as things equal to 21, and when you're all said and done, it's good to go. So I like how if you look at the board and you see all the pink values are all kind of low points, and so you just take the pink cards in your hand, mark them as 0s or 1s or whatever, and then put the higher values on the cards that you think are going to be able to win the higher values of points, and kind of stockpile things that way. So I like how you have the control to try to take over the most lucrative tricks. Everyone has the same option though, so you got to watch out for it. You know, everyone else is going to do the same thing. So maybe sometimes it's worth kind of putting something on a low value just to know you're going to get something when everybody else is going to be, you're in their head, basically.
So another thing that this game does, if you're playing that, you don't actually know if everybody, as you're playing tricks one at a time, did the 21 value. But at the end of the game, when you're counting the scores, whoever won, you count to make sure they actually had 21. If they didn't, if they went over that and all of their cards, they get 0 points. So the game is like, hey, don't mess up. This is the part of the game that you actually have to just do it. Just do this part. Don't be sneaky about it. Don't be weird about it. 21, that's it, or you get nothing.
Well,
nothing.
Actually, on top of that, each round it gets worse and worse. It's not just... It kind of builds on its punishment. And that includes whether you intentionally, were trying to squeeze some extra value out of that, or whether you just screwed up and did the math wrong.
Yeah.
So either way, make sure you check it all before you go into the next round. Or before you start playing tricks. This game can be very chaotic as far as trick-taking games goes because of that value. There can even be ties because in a normal deck of cards, there's only going to be one, 7 of hearts or whatever. But in this, there can be multiple 7 blues because we can make our own cards. So it can be very chaotic in that way. But at the same time, it's very strategic. You get a chance to look at all of the scores lined up for the entire round, 7 rounds or 7 tricks ahead of time, and kind of see what might be going on. So it's both chaotic and strategic. 2 things that don't normally, get paired together are happening at the same time in this game, which is really weird and fun.
Okay, so with all of that said, I know I say okay all the time. Okay. Okay, so with all of that said, I thought this game was super clever, very unique. I really enjoyed it. Like I've mentioned before, I think Pandasaurus just really has the market on card games. They're very good at producing card games. My biggest issue with this game is I don't think the theme and the name match the game. When I hear a game called Tricky Kids, I'm going to think it's for kids. And on the box it says 12 and up. And even though we did play it with our 8-year-old, she's a gamer kid, which is different. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you play board games with your kids, it's just they're different gamer kids. And she's been introduced to the trick-taking concept. So I just don't think that the marketing of this made a lot of sense. I feel like there's going to be people who would really enjoy this game that they're just going to pass on because of that, which is really unfortunate because it's a very clever, interesting take on trick-taking.
And maybe even the opposite is true. Maybe people who plan on getting it for their kids to play with their kids, and then it's like, whoa, we haven't even taught them normal trick-taking stuff yet.
Yeah.
This is too far advanced for them to be able to handle. So,
They already don't like math, and you want me to do it in a game?
yeah, so this is kind of a mismatch of marketing versus
Yeah.
execution for the market. But this was a very cool and interesting take on trick-taking. I love the variety. I love the control that you have over your values. Everyone has the same 21 points to work with, you know? So it's not like sometimes you get dealt a bad hand in a card game and you're like, okay, shoot, I have a bad hand and the opponent has a better hand. They're probably going to win more because of that. So you are in control. You get to choose. But the way it plays out is very wild. I think it's a very interesting take. I had a great time playing Tricky Kids.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.